Hello everyone, this is Midlife music teacher and I'm Mrs. G. And this week is the last week that my student teacher will be with me at this placement. So in this video, I thought I'd share a few things that I do for a student teacher on their last week with me at this elementary music placement. So let's take it from the top. Tomorrow is my student teacher's last day at this placement. So today I will be pretty much finishing up all her evaluations and submitting them through the computer program that they use at this university for assessments. And I put together a little going away gift for my student teachers. And so here's what I include in it. I usually get them some kind of little journal so they can journal the beginning of their next experience. I always get student teachers a pack of thank you cards. Those come in really handy when you get gifts from students. A couple of nice pens, some sticky notes. I get them a couple of packs of stickers because most of my student teachers go on to their secondary placement and even high schoolers like stickers. I get them a thank you card and I write a personalized message to them in my thank you card. And I also include a $10 to $15 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. I purchased these in bulk last year for gifts for helpers and things. And so it's just a little pen with a treble clef on it and a little music keychain that says, "Where words fail, music speaks." And then also in this gift bag, I include 3 hard copies of my letter of recommendation for the student teacher to use in their job search in the next few months. Friday was my student teacher's last day, and the last day with a student teacher is a very bittersweet day. Usually at the beginning of our day, I give my student teacher their little gift bag. Although I do not expect anything from my student teachers, typically they give me a thank you card. Sometimes they give me a little gift, but again, it's not expected of them. I'm very appreciative and grateful for anything, especially the thank you card. It's very sweet to read the things that they write about their experience. And so we exchange those little things first thing in the morning. The day consists of my student teacher teaching, or depending on how long they've been with me, sometimes they'll use the last day to maybe observe in other classrooms, maybe observe another specials teacher's lessons. Maybe they'll visit a regular classroom to kind of see how regular classrooms or special ed classrooms run. So sometimes that last day might be a day where they observe others. At lunchtime, we meet with our specials team. I usually bring some kind of treat, a cake or something, just so that the whole team can celebrate the student teacher's achievements. And another thing that I try to make sure I do on the student teacher's last day is complete any of their evaluations. I kind of proofread and double check those evaluations, and I try to make sure that those are submitted and done at least by that afternoon on their last day. And one of the things that I always make sure I do, I started this many years ago, is to make sure that I have given my student teacher some hard copies of a letter of recommendation. Even my own experience having to awkwardly ask someone to write a letter of recommendation. And I'm not saying that that isn't an experience that you might have to have. You might have to go and ask. In any case, I've written a lot of letters of recommendation over the years, whether it be for a colleague or even somebody, a friend or a relative, and of course, lots for those student teachers. So if you're ever asked to write a letter of recommendation, this is how I structure my letters of recommendation. And feel free to use this format if you'd like. But the first paragraph, I always put my relationship to this person, how I know them, and I'll put in some characteristic traits that this person has that are important for the job or the next step that they're going to pursue. I'll use words like enthusiastic or hardworking or conscientious, reflective, professional, things like that. The second paragraph is the longest paragraph, and in that paragraph, I'll explain what that person did. I'll explain the age groups, the grade levels that they worked with, the types of students that they worked with. I also explain a little bit about what they included in their lessons, listening, movement, instruments. I try to give a little bit of detail about what their lessons included. And then in the last paragraph, I take from my evaluations and I kind of lay out what this person's strengths were, what they showed they were really good at during their placement with me. I just kind of sum it up with, I think this person would be a great addition to your district or your program. And of course, I always remind the student teacher that this is coming to the end. They're almost done with their education and they're able to, within a matter of weeks, move on to the next part of their life, whether it is to get a job or if it is to pursue an advanced degree, whatever it may be. This is the end of a big chapter. So the last day is always bittersweet. One of the things that came up on Friday as well is before I even finished my day with the student teacher, I got an email from one of the colleges and universities regarding taking a student teacher for next school year. And I'm really kind of having to think this one through. Over the past 5 years, I've worked with 9 student teachers, and although I really, really enjoy mentoring a student teacher, I really enjoy being able to work with someone who has a fresh perspective, who is young and enthusiastic. It does mean that there are, especially if I take 2 student teachers in a school year, that does mean 14 to 15 weeks where I'm not delivering the full instruction. And while I explain that, that's, the kids are having a musical experience no matter who's up there teaching them, it does leave me with a little bit of inconsistency in my own curriculum and my own students. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to take the student teacher. It's just I really need to think about it. I might need to take a year off from doing it. There are obviously things that you have to do, and both of the colleges or universities that I work with have increased the number of assessments that we have to do for the student teachers. And so I'm really going to have to think about that if I want to take another student teacher for next year. But in any case, that is it for this year working with student teachers. And so thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. We're going to end on a high note. See you next time. Bye.